Okay, so we've got, so what we had to do is we had to plot this graph. We're trying to plot this graph as a bar chart. We have to plot it as a bar chart because these ones here, the one on the left-hand column, are not numbers. And if we have one of them isn't a number, then we're almost always going to do a bar chart or potentially maybe a pie chart. But we're going to do a bar chart for this. Now, if we think about it, the bar chart's going to look like this, and how high the bar is, it's got to be a number. We can't say Skittles is going to be so high and Eclair is going to be so high. We have to look at these numbers to think what they are. So the numbers are going to go on the y-axis. So over here, this needs to be the other way around. So if I rotate this and put that up there, that's now correct. I'm going to move it a little bit out so as I can write the numbers when I have time to do that. When I do that next, and I'm going to put the flavor down here like that. Okay, so now we're going to be plotting the flavors along the x-axis and the frequency along the y-axis. So what we're going to do now is zoom in on this x-axis, sorry, and we're going to divide it up. So we've got how many different flavors? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different flavors. So we need to divide this up by 5. We need to divide it up into 5 equal sizes. Okay, so let's just count how many we've got at the moment to start off with. It's annoying it starts off at a midway through the square, but maybe we'll just forget about that part. And so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then a little bit either side. So we'll just say 10, and we'll forget about that bit there, and we'll say we'll start off here too. Well, that's quite handy. So we can split it into 2s, and then that should give us 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's quite good. Now, when we draw the bar charts, when we draw the bars, what we want to do is also give them a bit of space either side. So I think we're going to start the bar here, the first one there, and we're going to finish it maybe here, maybe halfway. And then we'll do the second bar, we'll start there, and we'll finish it that way. Okay, and we'll color them in once we've done this. So that one can be colored in blue, maybe. The next one can be colored in green, up to you really. And then we'll go on through. Okay, that's how we'll do the rest of them. Let's pick black again to pick the numbers now on the left. So the frequency. So this is a really common mistake that people do with these things. They look at these 5, 14, 9, 7, 10, and just like so in fact, let's finish off this x-axis so it makes a bit more sense. We're going to write eclairs. Let's zoom in a bit so I can give myself a bit more space. I have to zoom back out again to see what it was that I have to write now, though, aren't I? Let's give myself a thinner. Oh, that's okay, fine. Eclairs. A little trick on this: if you do find you run out of space, what you can do is you can highlight it all and then shrink it down afterwards and move it back in place. So there's eclairs. In fact, I'm going to do that with it zoomed out this time so I can see what I'm writing. Skittles. I'm just going to write Skittles nice and big, and then I'm going to shrink it like that and rotate it a little bit. There's Skittles, and shrink it a little bit more. Okay, and then what we've got next, we've got buttons. Oops, let's move that down. And I'll shrink that really small, not too small, but yeah, just so as it can fit in there. And then Haribo's. I'll just pause the video to finish. Okay, so what I've done now is I'm just going to. Okay, so what I've done is I've written all the different categories down on the left, and I've written the numbers up, and the numbers are done differently because they have to go up in equal amounts up to the highest possible number. The highest number was 14, so we'll go up to make sure at least we go at least to 14, but we don't want to finish it if we went in tens, for example, 0, 10, 20. Well, that means all the bars are going to be all along the bottom bit, so that's not much good. We want to stretch it out a little bit. So going up in twos is a pretty good compromise. So Yeah, so there we go. So we've got our numbers there. So what I want you to do now is try to plot the bars. Okay, so we can see we're trying to, when we were doing the Skittles, the Skittles is 14, so that's nice and easy. It's on 14. The Maltesers is 10, so that's again nice and easy. It's on the 10. Then the ones in between are a bit trickier. So let's look at 5. It's between 4 and 6. Now, there's a tendency we want to draw them on the lines, but that isn't halfway between 5 and 6. Sorry, between 4 and 6. We can see it's not halfway because, well, that's 2 squares up and there are 3 squares to go. So that's not halfway. So it should be here, okay? That one's correct though. And then we got this one here. This one's a bit better, but again, it should be just really in between this line and this line. So it needs to be about there. Okay. The shading, the coloring in needs to be improved. I'll show you how you can do that on Miro more easily if you don't have a stylus like me. But we can just make out that there's a line drawn there. So they got it about right. Again, it needs to be really, really clearly in the middle of this line and this line. And then that one was correct. So let me show you how to do this more neatly using the Miro tools. There's a shape over here, and you can click the square, or you can just tap R and you get a rectangle. And then what you can do is, well, mine's already colored in, but let's say I can choose the color I want, like blue, for example. And then I can move it to where I want it to be, like this. And I want it to be at 5, so now I can shrink it. And it really needs to be halfway. There it is. So that's my first bar for, oh, wait, no, it's not. That's 3, not 5. Let's try that again, up here. Okay, so that's my first one. Now, a nice easy thing to do here would be to just take a clone of that. So if we hold on to Alt and drag, it produces a copy. Let's change the color. So let's click on it, and then we got the color down here, and we're going to choose lime, a nice lime green color. So we'll put this over here. I just realized also I was going to draw this over to here, so I'm going to just click on that. I'm going to widen it. I can drag the side here, there. Okay, and we'll drag this one as well. Okay, so this one was a bit of an easier one. It needs to be just up to 14. So if I do it all the way up to there, and right on that line, so zoom in. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, next we want the buttons. The buttons is 9, so I'm going to copy with Alt, like that. And let's change to yellow. And that was 9. So that's got to be exactly halfway between these two marks. So let's zoom all the way in. And I would say that's about halfway. That's pretty good. I'm just going to move it to the right a little bit. There. Oops. Okay. So that's the buttons. Now we want the Haribo. Haribo is 7. So let's Alt and drag it. There it is. We'll pick purple. So that's not 7 yet. So where do we want to go? We want it halfway between 6 and 8. So here. It's not quite in the right place yet. Oops. Realized if you hold on to Control and move, it moves slightly larger. It's like a larger distance. So if I just tap it once, it moves a smaller distance without holding on to Control. That's not on the line, is it? Now it needs to shrink it up at the top. Okay. That's fine. Maltesers is 10. And we'll make this one pink. I don't know. Oh, that color will do. It's not quite on the line, is it, again? So move it to the left. That's good. And I remember that one is where 10 is. Let's make sure it's right along the bottom. It is good. So that's a much better way to do it using the Miro tools. Okay.